Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So I am really excited about today's video because we're going to be talking about new releases from one of my favorite brands, and it is e.l.f. Cosmetics. They recently launched a bunch of new stuff, new brushes, new products, new e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette, which I am super excited about, and I went ahead and tried it all on for you guys. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts, showing you a demo, and we're just going to dive right in. So if you are interested in hearing about what's new from e.l.f., then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first product I want to talk about is their brand new foundation brush. This is called their Swirl foundation brush, and it's from the Beautifully Precise collection. And it's called the Swirl foundation brush because if you look at it, it kind of looks like a swirl on the head of the brush with a little hole in the middle where you can pump in your foundation and then evenly distribute it all over your face. I've seen other brushes like this, like the NYX foundation brush that came out with their dropper foundation with the hole in the middle. And while I think it's a cool concept, I personally don't prefer to apply my foundation that way. I like to put my foundation on the back of my hand and then just dab however much I'm gonna need rather than putting it straight onto the brush. It's just a personal preference. And if I had to choose between this new foundation swirl brush and, for example, this airbrush blender, which came out previously, I would say I much prefer this one for applying foundation based off of the way that I personally apply my foundation by first putting it on the back of my hand. I think this is a nice brush. It did a good job of blending the foundation all over my face, but unless this form of application is something that you really enjoy, I don't think you're missing anything by not picking this one up, especially if you already own this one, because like I said, I think it does a better job of blending everything out and it works better for my personal application preferences. The next item I want to talk about is also a brush, and I don't think they have anything in their collection quite like this one. This is their Tapered highlighting brush, and first impression wise, I am very impressed by this brush. It's so soft and fluffy, and it's really delicate, so you get that perfect application of highlighter because you don't want a super dense brush to apply highlighter because you'll just get that really weird streak on your cheekbone. This does the work for you. It just distributes the product beautifully, it blends it as you apply it, and you really can use a very light hand with this and get the most beautiful kind of flush of highlight on your cheek. This is, in my opinion, one of the best brushes in the entire Beautifully Precise collection, and I highly recommend it. Alright, next up is this Beautifully Bare Sheer Tint Brow Gel, and the applicator on this is nothing like I've ever seen before. It is the tiniest brow applicator I have ever seen, and I'm torn on what I think about it because I like how small it is because you can really get in between every single hair, but at the same time, to get the spoolie onto your actual brow hair, you almost have to lay the entire applicator down on your brow, so it deposits a lot of product. I definitely look like I have something on my brows. They look a little bit more slicked back than what I'm used to, so I think this is going to take some getting used to. Like I said, I'm torn because I like how skinny the applicator is, but at the same time, I feel like you have no choice but to lay the entire wand down on your eyebrow and get a lot of the product applied. So I'm gonna keep playing around with this one. Okay, the next product is the reason I did this haul, let's be honest. I wanted to just try this product out, and then I thought, why not try a few more things while I'm at it? But this was the product I was by far most excited about, and it is the new e.l.f. Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette in Holy Smokes. This is what the palette looks like. I think it's a really beautiful combination of cool tones and warm tones, mostly cool tone shadows, and for a while there we were seeing pretty much all warm tone eyeshadow palettes. If I saw one more warm tone eyeshadow palette come out last season, I was going to scream. But this season, it's like cool tones are back in, which I'm excited about. I really enjoy cool tone eye makeup looks. And between the new NYX cool tone palette and this one, I feel like cool tones are making a little bit of a comeback right now, which I'm not mad about. So I wanted to keep the eyes kind of bronzy, simple today because I had another product I really wanted to test out. So I really just used a combination of these three kind of middle shades with a little bit of the black, and I was really happy with them. I think they did a really nice job with the transition colors that they provided here. If I look at the last palette, I think two of the most popular shades in this Mad for Matte 2 palette were this orangey shade and this dark black shade because it's the perfect transition color and the perfect color to deepen the crease, and I think they were smart to leave in those two types of colors in the new palette. So you've got this kind of orangey coral transition color as well as the matte black. So I'm happy they kind of kept those two shades around because I think you need them in every palette. And if this was the first palette out of the collection you bought, you'd be bummed if you didn't have a transition color in a matte black. And I think especially in a smoky palette, you need some great transition colors and great dark colors. So I'm glad they kept those in. And they also included a couple pops of color, a teal and a blue, which I'm really excited to play around with. I will say that some of the shades were patchier than others. I'll show you guys a swatch of the whole palette so you guys can see for yourself. But overall, I think they did a good job in the color palette here with the neutral, everyday shades as well as some really fun pops of color. And overall, like I said, I'm excited for another cool tone palette. The next product I want to talk about is another brush. This is their brand new Crease brush. This is also in the Beautifully Precise collection, which, can we just go back to the collection for a second and just appreciate how beautiful they made these brushes? I love the design of these brushes, the little triangular handle that makes it really easy to hold on to. But I will say with this brush, it's a nice crease brush, but I don't think it's any better than their original crease brush. I think these are very, very similar in terms of quality, and because of the price difference, I would say go with this one, their original crease brush, because it's gonna do the same job at a cheaper price. Unless you really love looking at these beautiful brushes and you wanna add more of this aesthetic to your makeup collection, I would say if you're just looking for a basic blending brush, go with this one. If you want something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than this one, then maybe splurge the few extra dollars on the Beautifully Precise one, but no real quality difference here in my opinion. All right, the next product is the only other product out of everything I tried that I'm also a little bit torn about, the brow product and this one. I feel like I need to play around with a little bit more before I give you my final thoughts. And that product is this Matte to Metal eyeshadow primer. So this claims that you can either wear it all on its own as kind of a liquid eyeshadow, or you can wear it underneath matte shadows to make them shimmery. So it says it's going to transform matte shadows into shimmery shadows or be a shimmer eyeshadow all on its own. And I actually tried to use this with this smoky palette. I tried to transform this kind of tan shade into a shimmery shade. So when I was done with the crease, I went ahead and applied this all over the lid and then went over top of it with that shade. And I feel like it just went over top of this primer looking like a matte eyeshadow. I don't think that it actually transformed that matte shadow into a shimmery shadow. That said, before I applied that other shadow on top of this one, I thought it looked really pretty. So I think had I left it alone and just used this on my lid and not gone over with another shadow, I would have liked it. I went in with another shimmery shade from the Melissa Michelle palette and put that to kind of get that shimmery effect that I was going for. So I would say as a shadow transformer, transforming matte shadows to shimmer shadows, I don't think this lived up to the claims. But as a standalone liquid shadow, I think it did a really nice job, and I want to test it again on its own without layering shadow on top of it. They also came out with these new eyeliner pencils. These have a sharpener that comes with them, which I really, really appreciate. And these are supposed to be shimmery eye pencils. And I can go ahead and tell you guys, at least with this black one, it didn't do it for me. I really had to tug at my lid to get the color payoff, even after warming it up on the back of my hand. So while I appreciate the packaging, this one was a miss for me. The next new release from e.l.f., and this is not a first impression because I have used this before, is this new matte liquid lipstick that they came out with. This is the shade Blushing Rose. It's the color I have on right now. Obviously I have a gloss over top of it, but like I said, I've used this before, and the first time I used it, I felt like it was a little bit drying and I could really feel it on my lips. But when I used it this time, I used a lot less of it. I feel like the first time I kind of went overboard layering it on, and you really don't need a whole lot of this to get color payoff. So this time I really just did a very thin layer all over my lips just to get the color all saturated, but then I left it alone and let it dry. It dries rather quickly and it lasts a long time, and with this very thin layer on, it feels really, really comfortable on the lips. So definitely use a conservative amount and I think you'll really like it. And then the last product I hauled is their brand new Lip Plumping Gloss. I can still feel it on my lips right now. Like, it feels really tingly and almost cooling on the lips. So it definitely feels like a lip plumping gloss. Do I think that my lips look any plumper than usual? No. You guys can tell me what you think, but I don't think it really did anything in terms of plumping. But this shade, Champagne Glam, is beautiful. It transformed that matte liquid lipstick and gives the lips that like J.Lo glam because it's got a little bit of a golden sheen running through it. It does feel a little bit sticky on the lips compared to like their lip lacquer, but I feel like it lasts longer than a normal lipstick, so sometimes that's the trade-off. feeling a little stickier and lasting a little longer because it is actually sticking to the lips, or having no stick and fading pretty quickly. So I feel like you are getting a little bit of stick with this one, but you're also getting the staying power that comes with that. So I think it's a nice gloss, beautiful color. Do I think it plumps my lips? No, I don't. You guys can tell me what you think, but I don't personally think they look any different. So that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out, and click that subscribe button if you have not already so you can join this great drugstore family if you want to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.